Hello everyone, thank you for coming to my channel. My name is Sadie and today I will be guiding you through a 60-minute yoga practice focusing on the lower body. So let's jump on the mat. We'll start in a child's pose, opening the knees nice and wide, sitting the hips back. Feeling the belly fill with air on each inhale and empty on each exhale. One more cycle of breath. Now on our exhale, we'll start to press up, walking the knees underneath the hips, hands underneath the shoulders. We'll come to all four. And just finding a long spine here. Pressing firmly through both hands. Feeling the core engage. And on an inhale, we'll drop the belly, gaze forward. Exhale, round the spine, gaze goes back. Drop the belly, forward. Curve the spine, back. Inhaling, drop the belly. Exhale to round. And just keep it moving in this way. Finding even more movement. And then we'll start to play with moving the rib cage from side to side. Allowing the head to come along for the ride. And then drawing some circles with the rib cage. One direction. Really hitting every corner. And we'll switch. Moving the body in a circular pattern. We'll find center once again, making sure the hands are below the shoulders, knees below the hips. Let's extend the right leg out behind us, keeping the toes attached to the floor. And slowly, we'll begin to draw a line with our right toes over to the left side. So crossing all the way over and turn the gaze to look towards that foot. Take an inhale here. And on an exhale, we'll draw it back to the center line, keeping it extended. we'll bend the knee and start to draw baby circles with that knee. So lifting it up and down, lifting it up and down, up and down. We'll switch directions. So whichever way you were circling your knee, we'll circle it the other way. Warming up that hip. And lower that knee down. We'll switch legs. Left leg extends behind us, toes still connecting to the floor. And we'll draw a line over to the right side, gaze turning to look at it. Big inhale. And on an exhale, we'll draw the line back and bend the knee. Start drawing baby circles with that knee one direction. And we'll switch directions. Lowering that knee down. We'll send the right leg back once more, bending the knee. This time we'll make circles even bigger, so as big as we can in one direction. 3 of them. And then we'll switch directions, as big as you can. After your third, we'll kick that heel up to the sky, flexing the foot, making sure the hands are underneath the shoulders. And we can either stay here, just squeezing in that glute, or reach the left hand all the way up and back to grab onto the foot. Pressing foot into hand, we open the heart forward. Releasing that hand, keep that leg up, stretch it out, and pull it into the chest. Nose to knee for a quick moment. And lower the knee down. Left arm reaches to the sky. We'll thread it through, shoulder coming down to the mat. Right hand working as a kickstand to twist us further. Feel free to stay here, or if you want a little bit more, start to extend that left leg behind you, toes against the floor. Or we can lift it up just off the floor in line with the hips. If the leg is lifted, we'll lower it back down. Pull the knees towards one another. We'll press the right hand underneath the right shoulder and unwind. Hands coming back underneath the shoulders. We'll extend the left leg. Bending at the knee. And we'll start to draw big circles. 3 one direction. And then 3 the other direction. Kicking that heel up to the sky, pulling the heel towards the glutes. We can either stay here, dropping those hips down, Or we can reach that right arm all the way up and back, grabbing onto the front of the left foot. The more pressure we put against the foot and the hand, the better it will be for our balance. Release the hand, extend that leg long, and we'll pull the knee in towards the nose, taking a little tiny core engagement here. And release the knee back down. We'll extend the right arm high, opening the chest to the right wall, and thread it through, right shoulder down. We have the option again to extend that left leg, pointing it onto the floor, or slowly beginning to lift it up in line with the hips. If the leg is lifted, we'll lower it back down. Bring that left knee to the right. Walk the left hand under the left shoulder and unwind. Hands coming down. We'll tuck the toes and we'll lift all the way up and back to downward facing dog. Right away from here, we'll rock the weight back to the hands, bending the knees, come to this hover position. Long neck. And press up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale to rock forward, hover, knees just off the floor. And exhale, downward facing dog. We'll stay here for about 5 breaths. So walk the heels out, take any small movements that you might need. We'll bend the knees, shift the gaze forward in between the hands, and hop or step your way to the front of the mat, forward fold. And let's have the feet a little bit wider than hip distance, so almost as wide as the yoga mat. Knees are bent, the head heavy. And if you'd like, you can grab opposite elbow and take small sways from side to side. Releasing both hands. Let's bend really deeply into that left leg, straightening the right leg. The left hand will plant down, and if we can't quite reach the ground, we can use a block here. And we'll extend the right arm all the way up to the sky. From here, we can wrap this right arm around our backs, and if you can reach, grabbing a hold of the left thigh. And if you've made it here, start to pull that right shoulder back, opening the heart up to the right wall. And release that arm back up to the sky and lower it down. We'll bend both knees. Take a moment to refresh, walking out the knees. And we'll take it on the other side. So bending the right knee a lot, straightening that left knee. We'll lower the left hand down. Feel free to use a block if you have one. And extending that left arm all the way up to the sky. We'll bend the left elbow, flipping the palm, and trying to grab a hold of that right thigh. Pressing the left shoulder back. And unwind, reaching that arm back up to the sky and lowering it down, bending both knees. Grabbing opposite elbow, let's take another sway here. Maybe going a little bit deeper. We'll bend the knees, release the hands, and start to roll all the way up. Pressing firmly down through the entire foot. We'll come to stand. Inhale, arms reach out really wide. Palms join together, elbow overhead. And we'll pull the palms down to the heart. Inhale, arms reach wide. Palms join together above the head. We'll open the arms wide and take a fold. Hands coming down. We can keep the feet wide here. Let's lift up halfway. Pressing those sits bones back, extending the crown forward and lower down. Keeping the knees straight or almost straight. We'll lift all the way up to stand through a flat back, reaching the arms back and up. Hands draw together above the head and down to the heart. We'll take that again. Arms reach out wide. Inhaling. Exhale to dive over. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, hands come down. We'll open the arms wide, inhaling to lift back up. Hands draw together and down to the heart. Exhaling. Inhale, arms reach out. And exhale, fold over. Inhale, lifting flat back. Exhale, plant the hands. This time, staying down. We'll step both feet back, coming into a plank pose. Finding a nice long line here from crown to our heels. We'll inhale to rock forward, looking forward. And we'll lower all the way down to the belly, elbows drawing into the sides. Hands pressing down, lifting up, cobra pose. Elbows stay bent. And exhale, lower down. We'll press up and back, downward facing dog. We'll inhale, right leg lifts three-legged dog. And exhale to step it up and through, low lunge, dropping that back knee, keeping the toes tucked, looping the shoulders and looking forward. We'll lift off the fingertips, lifting the arms up, crescent lunge. Reaching the fingertips up, pressing those hips forward. Right arm releases down by our side, left arm staying up. We'll bend both elbows and try to grab hands behind our back. So right arm, the elbows pointing to the ground, left arm, elbows pointing to the sky. And now lean against those hands if you have that bind. And take a small back bend here. Releasing the left arm back to the sky, right arm down. We'll drop the right arm down to the floor and take a side bend. Also a good time if you have a block or a cushion to put it underneath that right hand. Inhale to lift back up to center. And we'll do a cartwheel with the arms. Left arm drops down, right arm reaches up, taking an easy twist. Right arm comes down to frame that right foot, and we'll start to pull the hips back, taking our half splits, flexing the right toes towards the face, stretching through that right leg as much as we can. And on each inhale, think of extending the crown forward. On an exhale, let it release. Inhale, extending forward. Exhale, release. We'll look forward, making sure those left toes are tucked. We'll start to rock onto that right foot, walking the hands an inch or two in front of the right foot. We'll lift that back knee, step it in just a little bit, and lift off half splits. So it doesn't have to be super high, just pressing that left heel towards the back wall. And slowly, with control, we'll start to lower the left leg down into our pyramid pose. So left toes are turning out just slightly, and we fold over the right leg. We'll start to bend in the right knee. Slide the back leg back to a low lunge. We'll plant the hands and step it back to a plank. Taking our vinyasa, we can lower to the belly again or take our chaturanga this time. Lowering down and lifting up. And exhale to lower and lift it back to downward facing dog. We'll take it on the left. Inhaling, left leg lifts, three-legged dog. And exhale, step it between the hands, taking our low lunge. Back knee drops, keeping the toes tucked. We'll loop the shoulders, look forward, open the chest to the front of the room. We'll start to lift off those fingertips, reaching them up to the sky, taking our crescent lunge. Nice. We'll drop that left hand down this time. Bending both elbows so the hands come to the back. And we'll try to interlace the hands, taking this bind behind the back, however much we can. We're holding onto our shirt if this bind isn't accessible. And we'll lean back just slightly. Inhaling, and release the hands on an exhale. Right arm up, left arm down. We'll reach the left arm down to the mat by our side, right arm reaches over, taking a side bend. We'll inhale to lift back up and take a little cartwheel action with the arms. Right arm comes down, left arm comes up, taking our easy twist. We'll drop the left arm down to frame the left foot and start to pull the hips back, taking our half splits. Flexing the left toes to the face. And we'll take the same action here. On an inhale, we'll reach the crown forward. On an exhale, releasing down. Inhale, crown reaches forward. And exhale, releasing it down. We'll start to look forward, making sure this back toe is tucked. We'll roll onto that left foot, walking the hands maybe a couple inches in front of the left foot. Lift that back knee. And we'll shift forward, coming into our standing splits. Very gently, we'll start to lower the right leg down, turning the toes about 45 degrees outward, and we'll take a fold in our pyramid pose. Bending the front knee. We'll shift the back leg to our low lunge. Plant the hands, step it back. Take our vinyasa. Inhale, Lean forward. Exhale to lower. Inhaling to lift. Exhale to send it up and back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifting. Three-legged dog. Let's bend the knee, open up the hip. Re-extend the leg and square it off. We'll come to our plank pose, drawing the right knee into the nose. Hold. Re-extend. Three-legged dog. Knee to nose. Hold. Extend. Last time. Knee to nose. Hold it here for 3, for 2, and for 1. Step it up and through. We'll come to our high lunge this time. Reaching the arms up, making sure our feet are planted, not on a tight rope. There's a little bit of space in between. But squeezing the legs to the midline. We'll draw the hands together and bring them down to the heart into prayer position. And in one big swoop, we'll reach the arms out and gather up to stand on our right leg. Left knee comes into the chest. Balancing here. We'll draw the hands together and down to the heart. Extending that left leg behind us, bending in the right knee. We'll take our warrior 3, keeping that standing leg bent. Arms reaching back, the backs of the hands lifting up to the ceiling. And then as we step it back, high lunge, arms reach up, hands draw together, and down to the heart. Again, arms reach out. Deep inhale, exhale, we lift up. Drawing the hands together and down to the heart. We'll take an inhale. And as we exhale, extending warrior 3 with the bent standing leg. Gently, we'll step it down. High lunge, arms reach back up. Hands join together and down to the heart. Inhale, arms reach out. And exhale, we step it up. Hands draw together, down to the heart. We inhale and kick it back. 3, warrior 3. Gently, we'll step that foot back. High lunge, arms reach up. We'll draw the hands together at the heart. And let's take our prayer twist. Left elbow crossing over. Pressing against the right thigh. Inhale to lift up, unwind, plant the hands down, and take your vinyasa. Inhaling, exhaling, inhale, and exhale, back to downward facing dog. We should really start to feel those legs working. Right leg plants down, left leg lifts, 3-legged dog. Bending the left knee, open the hip. Extend the leg, square it off, and we'll come forward to a plank. Left knee comes to the nose. And extend. And exhale, lifting the knee to the nose. Inhaling, press it back. Last time. Exhale, knee comes to nose. And we'll step that foot through. High lunge. Arms reaching up. Trying to bring that tailbone underneath us. We'll draw the hands together and down to the heart. Open the arms wide. Take an inhale. Exhale, we gather, standing on that left leg. Right knee comes into the chest. Take a second, testing the balance. Hands draw together, down to the heart. Extend that leg back. Warrior 3 with a bent standing leg. Arms in airplane arms. And step that foot back nice and softly. High lunge. Arms reach back up. Palms draw together. Down to the heart. We open the arms wide. Inhaling. Exhale. Step it up. Knee comes into the chest. Hands draw together. And down to the heart. Inhaling. Exhale. Send it back. Warrior 3. We'll step it back. Arms reach up. High lunge. Hands draw together. And down to the heart. We'll take our prayer twist. Right elbow coming over left knee. Looking over the left shoulder. On the next inhale, we'll unwind. Hands coming down. We'll step it back. Take our vinyasa. Meeting in downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. And exhale, step it up and through. High lunge. Arms reaching up. This time, let's draw the hands together again and bring them down to the heart. We'll shift to our goddess pose facing the left wall. So both heels turning in, both toes turning out, opening the arms, cactus arms. Sinking down low. And then we'll shift to the back of our mat, reaching the arms all the way up to our high lunge. Step the back foot to meet the front foot, chair pose. Sinking the hips down. Right foot steps back, high lunge. Hands come together and down to the heart. Opening back up to the same side, goddess pose. Adjusting the feet in any way that we have to. Sinking nice and deep. We'll release the hands to the hips. Swivel the heels out, straighten those knees, and bend over. Taking a flat back. And then we'll release one hand at a time, catching us, bringing us to our wide-legged forward fold. We'll slowly start to turn the right toes towards the front of the wall, the room once again. Keeping both knees straight. And we'll walk the hands to the front of the mat, planting the right hand on the inside of the right foot. Left arm reaches high. Taking our triangle pose, pressing those hips all the way back, feeling a long stretch in the back of the right leg. Left hand comes to the left hip. We'll turn our gaze down to the right foot, bending at the knee. We'll frame the front foot, taking our low lunge, and step it back. Take our vinyasa. Finding our way to downward dog. We'll inhale, left leg lifts, three-legged dog. Exhale, step it up and through, high lunge. We'll draw the hands together and down to the heart. Shifting to our goddess pose, the other direction, so facing your right side. Heels turn in, toes turn out, cactus arms. We'll shift to our high lunge, facing the back, reaching both arms up. And we'll step the back foot to meet the front foot, chair pose. Sinking those hips down. Inhaling. And exhale, step that left foot back, high lunge. Hands draw together and down to the heart. Taking our goddess pose, we'll turn to the right wall. Open up those elbows. Open up the knees. Hands coming down to the hips. We'll swivel the heels out, stretching the knees, and fold over. Flat back first. And then reach the hands down and allow it to round. Wide-legged forward fold. Taking this moment of stillness to reconnect with that breath. We'll start to turn the left toes or the front toes to face the front of the space. Walking the hands over to that left foot. We'll plant the left hand on the inside. Right arm reaches up to the sky. Triangle pose. Hips pulling towards the back of the space, upper body leaning back. Right hand comes down to the hip. We'll turn our gaze to the left foot, bending into the left knee. We'll frame that left foot with our hands and step it back. Take our vinyasa. Inhale, right leg lifts, three-legged dog. And on an exhale, we'll step that foot to the outside of the right hand. Hands pressing down, shoulders pressing down. Just hanging out in this lizard pose. We'll drop the back knee, untuck the toes. We'll reach the right arm forward, up and back. And our options are to stay here or kick that left toe all the way up and grab a hold of it. Releasing that foot down nice and gently. The hands will come back to the inside of the right foot, tucking the back toes. And on the count of 3, we're going to step all the way up to our Malasana, yogi squat. So nice and wide, heels in, toes out. 1, 2, and 3. Step up, drop the hips down, elbows to knees. Pressing the elbows and knees in towards one another. We'll squeeze the legs to press all the way up to stand. Heel toe the feet back together. Right knee comes into the chest. Cross ankle over left leg, coming into our figure 4. Sitting the hips back. Or we can call this a standing pigeon pose. So going down as low as we like, keeping the hands together and folding just to the leg, or letting the fingertips come all the way down to the mat. Wherever we are, we're keeping that right toe flexed. We're here for 3, for 2, and 1. Unwind. Reaching both arms down and up. And exhale, folding over. Planting the hands, we'll step it back. We'll just go straight to downward dog this time. Inhale, left leg lifts. And exhale, step it to the outside of the left hand. Lizard pose. Staying up on the hands. Dropping the back knee, untucking the toes. Left arm reaches forward, up and back. And once again, we can stay here. Or if we did it on the other side, we'll start to lift those right toes all the way up, coming to the front of this right leg. So we don't want to be right on the knee, but in front of it. So if it's too hard on the knee, press the hips down and forward even more. Breathing here. Gently release the right leg. Left hand coming back down. We'll tuck the back toes. And on the count of 3, we step up into our yogi squat. 1, 2, and 3. Step it up. Drop the hips down, heels in, toes out, elbows pressing against the knees. Pressing the heels down. We'll lift all the way up to stand, squeezing the legs, heel toe the feet together. Left knee comes into the chest this time. And take our figure 4, crossing left ankle over right knee. Standing pigeon pose, sitting the hips back, bending the standing knee. Trying to get the elbows down to the shin, or dropping the fingertips all the way to the floor. Inhaling and exhale to lift up and unwind. Reaching the arms all the way out. Join the hands together and fold. Open the chest. Hands come down. Inhale, lift up halfway. Let's take one final flat back here. Extending through the crown. Hands coming down, we'll release. Stepping both feet back, we'll come to our downward facing dog. Feel free to take one final vinyasa here if you would like. Or just skip it and come straight to child's pose. This can be a wide child's pose, knees out, toes together once more. Arms extending out in front of us. We'll tuck the chin and slowly begin to lift up to our kneeling position. We'll sit the hips to one side and extend the legs out in front of us. We'll just take a forward fold, so arms reaching by either side of our legs. This can be passive, so we don't have to pull or push, just releasing the hands by the sides of the legs. Taking this moment to start to slow things down. Calm the breathing. Notice any changes to the body. In terms of energy level, flexibility, quality of breath. We'll tuck the chin and begin to roll all the way down to our backs. Let's bring the right knee into the chest and cross it over to the left side, supine twist. Inhale, lifting all the way back up. And release that leg down. We'll take it on the other side. Left knee comes into the chest. And supine twist, dropping that knee over to the right. Left arm extends. We'll inhale to lift back to center. Bringing both feet onto the mat, knees up to the sky. We'll finish off with our bridge pose. Hands pressing down on either side. We'll press into the feet, lifting the hips, lower back, and mid-back off of the mat. Squeezing the knees towards each other. And feel free to interlace the fingers behind the back, pressing the knuckles towards the heels, and maybe walking the shoulders underneath us. Half wheel. Continuing to squeeze those knees together. On an exhale, we'll gently release the arms and roll down through every vertebrae. Pulling the knees into the chest. Giving yourself one final squeeze. And we'll exhale to release everything down to Shavasana. Heels are heavy. Palms are turned up to the sky. We'll take these last few minutes to surrender. Allowing a full release in the body. Slowly start to wiggle the fingers and toes, bringing the body back to life. We'll reach the arms overhead, taking a full body stretch and rounding everything onto the right side. Use the hands to press your way to a seated position, keeping the eyes closed. Relax the hands on both knees. And take this moment to notice how you feel. Noticing any changes from when we began to this moment. We'll join the hands together at the heart. Once again, thank you for joining me for this class. It's so nice to have people to teach even though we're all stuck at home right now. We'll draw the thumbs to the third eye and take our bow. Namaste.